You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that covers everything from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
Hi, Tom.
I'm Josh.
I'm Sam.
I'm Cody.
And I'm Samantha.
We have a great show for you this week. Thank you all for tuning in. We have a bunch of news to go over, but first, let's get into our Check 'em Outs.
Check it out!
But first, I'm going to cut in.
Uh-oh.
You guys don't know about this. This is a bit.
Oh, no.
This is a bit that you guys don't know about. Okay. All right. So in our time off, we had some time off. I was listening to some podcasts, and I was getting a little down because they were talking about, we're in this podcast award for this, or we've done this and that, and I was feeling kind of low. And then it struck me, why do we have to wait for someone to recognize our awesomeness? We already know how awesome we are, right?
I mean, I feel it.
Yeah. You guys feeling it? Are you guys feeling the awesome? Okay. So I present to you guys and myself, because I am part of you guys, the official award for World's Best Opening Podcast Segment.
Wow.
Wow, it's so official.
So official. That's right.
This is a beautiful trophy.
Yes, I've gotten ourselves a trophy to commemorate the win.
I feel like it's less fraudulent than the Oscars.
It's a little less fraudulent. Yeah. So we got it. So now we can officially say that we're going to get into our official award-winning opening segment. Check it out. But here's the thing with trophies. You can't just buy one. So we got Samantha. Here you go. And we got Josh.
It's
Here you
award
go.
season.
It's
here
award
on
season, and
Nerd
Cody,
Overload.
we got one for Cody.
Oh, let's
Here
see.
you go. Here you go.
All right. I'm world's best paranormal game designer. That's amazing. It's a beautiful laptop. Wow. You have to put all these on the Instagram.
Yeah.
We will put them on the Instagram. Yes.
I feel like if we line up all the trophies together, that's the new banner photo.
This is World's Best Knitting / Halloween fan.
They didn't have a knitting ball of yarn, so you like Halloween.
I
so
do.
It works.
It has a pumpkin
it
and
works.
the bat.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
And mine looks like a fantasy castle tower, and it says "World's Best LARP Man, Josh Grim Harrison."
Yep. and I had to get one for myself. World's best rad dude. I'm riding a skateboard.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
I mean, you are a rad dude.
So we are an award-winning podcast, you guys.
Aw.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is great, Sam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not only was that a great bit, but that was also a very moving gesture of our
yeah.
friendship.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Well, we're getting close to 300 episodes, and I originally was going to wait until episode 300, but they came in and they were so awesome. I was like, nah. All right. So anyway, let's get into our award-winning
God.
opening segment. Check it out.
Check it out!
Award winning.
Yeah.
I feel like you need like one of those like stingers from like some news show or like award-winning newscasting or whatever.
Next week,
Local Emmy.
local Emmy award-winning.
Peabody Award.
Yes.
Cable Ace Award.
The Overloady Awards.
Yeah.
Tony recognized.
Yep. All right, so who wants to go first with their check'ems?
I'm going to talk about the world's greatest PlayStation 1 game ever made of all time
Oh.
that I played this morning.
Okay, what is it?
It is King of Crusher, a Japanese-only PlayStation 1 game that I discovered today,
King of Crusher, okay.
where you are an angry Japanese man that gets bit by a demon bug and gets super mad and you then have to kick and punch every furniture object in your house until it is broken.
That sounds kind of like the table flip arcade game.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well, and then you leave the house, and then you go to work, and then you break all the furniture at work, and then you start turning into a monster, and then you run around the neighborhood as like a demon monster and break all of the outdoor furniture.
Wow.
And you slowly grow larger. Eventually, you're like a straight-up kaiju crushing
Excellent.
the city.
Excellent.
And it is awful. The controls are terrible. Like, it's like you're steering a car that is a man.
So David Cage game.
Yeah. I mean, like, you push left and he starts, like, kind of leaning and turning into the left.
jeez.
It's like, it's really weird.
Oh.
It's like, it's obviously like a bargain bin. Like,
Like in my brain, I'm imagining really awful graphics.
oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. It's like super polygonal PlayStation 1, and you're like a man with a white shirt and jeans that's also barefoot for some reason. It is just ridiculous and
that sounds
hilarious.
fantastic.
I'm gonna have to stream it at some point.
Oh, for sure. No, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Because you have like 3 moves: you can punch, you can kick, and you can headbutt, and those are the same moves you have regardless of what you are
Or what you're doing.
Yeah, within the storyline.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
And
That
you
is
can't,
awesome.
like, there's cops that shoot at you at one point, but you can't fight them. You know, your anger is only directed at furniture and vending machines and fences.
Oh, fantastic.
That sounds like a very cultural touchstone.
But I saw it in a YouTube video, and I'm like, I have to play this right now.
Isn't that how that went for like Omicron or whatever it was?
No, I forget where I heard about Nomad Soul from originally. Probably a magazine, because it was a long
that
time
kind
ago.
of thing, yeah.
That era.
But no, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I had to get King of Crusher off of my chest immediately.
See it building up inside you before you started kicking the studio chairs.
And crushing and destroying objects gives you your health back. And then you have a little rage, like a red rage meter. Every time you break something, it goes up more, and you can't leave the level until you've filled your rage meter up from smashing.
Nice.
You must get madder, get angrier. Your anger makes you powerful.
Like, you start in your house and with your wife and child running out of the room in terror, and you just start smashing the table and like the crib. Like, it is
jeez.
insane.
Yeah, I might have to find that, because that sounds pretty great. Let's get an update for the Switch.
Yeah.
Use the gyro controls. You use the Joy-Cons to smash your way through the house.
Swing your arms like you're a Frankenstein monster.
He kind of controls like a Frankenstein monster.
Okay.
All right. Well, my check-em, I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music. Now, have you guys had a chance to watch this yet? Oh, God, you guys are killing me.
Just
Josh, I'm glad you didn't watch it, because we didn't watch it either.
solidarity on this side of the table.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 'Cause I want to get into this. I want to talk about it so much.
I've had it ready
But-
to go. We just haven't.
Yeah, you got to. It's really good. We talked about it on our Lost episode last week. Again, apologies for missing the show last week. My basement flooded, so some things took a little more precedence than the show, unfortunately. But
The whole town flooded.
Yeah.
yeah, the whole town kind of flooded. Anyway,
like I couldn't get to work because it was so bad.
it was bad. It was real bad. Anyway, it is definitely worth checking out. It is a very good movie. I would say it's right in line with the rest of the Bill and Ted movies, thanks in no small part to the fact that the writers have been the same all the way through.
Yeah.
And that the actors legitimately care about these characters and want to see where they're going. The graphics are not great. It seemed a little rushed at points. I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to spoil things. I don't want to ruin things for you guys. I would say that if you're going into this, make sure that you at least watch the first Bill and Ted's, and at the very least read the Wikipedia synopsis for Bogus Journey, if not watch Bogus Journey, because there is actually a surprising amount of Bogus Journey in this movie.
I've never seen Bogus Journey.
You haven't seen Bogus Journey?
I've only seen the first one.
Oh man.
Wow.
Well, that's actually not as surprising. Bogus Journey was kind of the black sheep of the
still
franchise there for a
liked
while.
it.
Oh, I love it. I think visually it's much better than the first one. But yeah, you definitely need to at least be up on some of the things because there are bits and pieces that just flat won't make sense otherwise.
I mean, you may be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's an extended plot point
With the
pertaining
Reaper?
with the Reaper, and someone says station. Station.
Oh no, I guess we're gonna have to watch Bogus Journey first.
It's very good. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, I don't want to get into it any further than that until we can actually have a spoiler cast because I really think there's enough in there. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think there is enough in there to warrant a spoiler cast on Bill and Ted.
Just to watch the whole movie? Just
Yeah.
do the whole movie? All right.
Seriously, yeah. Yeah.
Did we lose our Mulan talk?
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay, we saw Mulan.
Everything we said last week
Yeah.
was lost.
Okay. Well, we saw Mulan and it was okay.
I've heard it's not super great.
No, I mean it wasn't bad. I was entertained. I didn't feel like I had wasted 2 hours of my life I would never get back. Had I seen it in a movie theater, I would have been pleased with my decision.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Had I paid $30 for it on Disney Plus, no, don't do that. Absolutely do not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were kind of talking about in the Lost episode, I feel like that gives not only Disney but other streaming services a precedence.
Yeah, it sets a bad precedent.
It does. Yeah. And we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind having streaming services. I don't mind paying a little extra for certain things. $30, that is much.
Yeah, for one movie,
And
no.
it's weird that $20 doesn't seem like it's that bad. But 30, that extra 10.
I would even dare to say that 20 is bad enough because you're already paying $10 to $15 for these streaming services.
Like you can buy a Blu-ray for $25.
That's true. That is true. But like I'm thinking when Black Widow comes out, it's gonna have a similar thing.
Probably. Which
And-
means I will sit on it until it's not $30.
And I don't know if I can do that because if Black Widow doesn't make the money right out the gate, Marvel's going to be less
yeah.
likely to
That's
do
true.
more female-led superhero movies. It's a real
Yeah.
it's a real catch-22 in that situation.
They'd be wise to just keep delaying it like they do with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Well, like DC does with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, they would be smart to wait until theaters open back up a little further. And I mean there are some theaters that are starting to show things.
Drive-ins. Bring back drive-ins.
Although drive-ins are starting to close up because it is fall.
Oh.
People are gonna be so thirsty for a Marvel movie by the time it's okay. I mean, like technically it's okay now, but I wouldn't go to the movies.
No.
Yeah, I'm maybe a little more cavalier about it, but only in certain theaters that I know for a fact are doing everything in their power to make sure people are not sick. Basically, Studio 35 and Grandview, because they seem like the only ones that seem to be doing it right with their assigned seatings with 3 people in between and strictly enforcing the out of your seat, mask on, otherwise we're kicking you out no matter what ruling.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. Until this thing is over, it's the way it's the way it's got to be. Boy, that took a serious turn.
Yes, it did.
I mean, we are in a new age. Like, the world's different.
Hey, let's move on to a fun topic. Josh, what have you been checking out?
Well, let's see here. I don't know how fun that's going to be. We
Good way to start.
I mean, we finished watching the original Fullmetal Alchemist series.
Cool.
A good anime.
It is a good anime. And then we watched the movie that is basically the end of that series, The Conqueror of Shambhala,
Okay.
which it'd been a long time since I watched that movie. I probably hadn't watched it since it came out years and years and years and years ago.
What about the live action one?
I have not seen the live action one. I'm not sure I want to watch the live action one.
I'm curious.
I
mean,
don't
it is
know
on
much
Netflix.
animes, but I am also curious.
And Conquer Shambhala is weird because it spends most of its time on our Earth and not the other Earth.
That is weird.
There are multiple Earths.
By the end of the Fullmetal Alchemist series, it is basically the Earth that the series takes place in is a parallel Earth to our Earth.
It's Earth 2.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's
Okay, it's an
basically
Earth 1,
Earth
Earth
2.
2 situation.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
right on.
And the events of the Fullmetal Alchemist series, like at one point, Edward goes through the Black Gate, which is a thing they touch on briefly throughout the series, and it leads him to...
That sounds like a really weird euphemism for puberty.
He does get a little taller, but anyway, where it's like World War One or like Earth.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then we get to Conquer Shambhala, which is right after World War One, and they're in Germany.
Oh, it's a good thing he has a German sounding name. I mean, he's like
Yes.
right there.
Yeah.
It's gonna fit in. It's not like his name is like
Takeshi.
Steve,
Yeah.
Takeshi, or Steve. Yes,
but
the two non-German names.
But it does touch on some very real topics.
I'm sure it does, given the time period.
Yes. Like a lot of racism. Not that the regular series doesn't touch on racism, but then this movie gets into like the beer hall meetings and the rise of certain political factions.
So yeah, that's a weird end.
It is.
To,
It's really
to a
weird.
show about magic and stuff.
Yeah, but basically that's how it is. It's
And like a magic night.
Ray Earth. Oh, that's a different anime.
Well,
That's a different show entirely.
it was also a game on the Sega Saturn. You don't know anything about Fullmetal Alchemist, do you?
Nope.
Really?
I know one person has a robot arm, and the other one is a full robot with a child voice. Something about an evil dog.
Equivalent exchange? That doesn't no.
I mean, I know what the term means. I know he gave up his arm for like magic or something.
Well, magic. It's not really they don't call it magic, but it's a science. But it is kind of a weird magic.
It's alchemy.
It's alchemy. Yeah.
But yeah, the basis of the show is it's about equivalent exchange. You have to give so much to get so much.
Yeah.
And in magic, that's how they were trying to bring their mother back to life. And in that process, he lost his arm and his brother lost his entire body. And then, like, at the last minute, he put his brother's soul into the armor. That's how that happened.
I kind of got that a little bit.
He also sacrificed his leg to do that. So he has
it's arm and leg.
he has
Yeah.
an arm.
yeah.
He literally gave an arm.
He
and
gave
leg.
an arm and a leg for that.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
But anyway, what else? Oh, we watched season 3 of Aggretsuko.
Oh, we have two. All the way through.
So did we.
Woo.
How is it?
It's good.
I liked it a lot better than season 2.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a little bit more kind of slice of life stuff, but also at the same time, it's slice of life stuff that pertains more to Japanese culture.
Yeah. Well, she's forced to join an idol group.
She's not forced to join. She
Kind of.
in her mind, she feels like she can only pay back the debt if she works for the guy that she wrecked his car.
Yeah.
She's strong-armed into...
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
As a first, she's an accountant for this idol group, and then they find out she can do death metal screams, and so he throws her on stage.
Nice.
It is a move for the show that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it's also way more interesting than her relationship problems that were all of last season.
Ah, okay. I'll be honest, that's kind of why I dropped off of the show a little bit. Not that I didn't enjoy it, not that I wouldn't go back to it. It kind of was the same kind of relationship stuff over and over. And I was like, I got more important.
Yeah, I didn't...
I have British baking show to watch. Which is coming back. 30th.
Yes.
I have never watched it.
It's so good.
It's
Dude,
good.
you gotta watch it.
The Great British Bake Off.
Heck yeah, man. It's good stuff.
It's good, wholesome television.
It is perfect relaxation television. Absolutely.
I like watching a reality show where they're helping each other. Everybody wants everybody to win.
Oh yeah.
And not like, faux drama or stabbing people in the back or just hooking up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
American
there's none
reality
of that.
shows.
Yeah.
There's none of that, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, there's no manufactured dilemmas.
Everyone
or...
legitimately is rooting for each other, and sometimes they will help each other. It's very good.
That does sound wholesome.
I mean, the
The
only
food looks delicious. Also.
oh yeah, even the worst food I would eat.
Oh yeah. Don't watch it hungry. That's a mistake.
Oh yeah, that's a mistake.
That's my
Yeah.
secret, Cap. I'm always hungry.
Speaking of food, the new rolled ice cream place on the
You
other
gotta
side
review
of town.
that.
Yeah, what is it called? Poppin' and Rollin'
I think.
by Chipotle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Really?
By
Is
the
it
way,
good?
it's
Okay.
not new.
It's not?
No, it was in the mall.
Oh, well, no wonder I didn't know it existed.
It was next to Joanne's.
Oh, that's the popcorn place.
Yeah.
That guy's popcorn is really good.
It's
Yeah.
it's the same guy.
Same guy.
Huh.
Interesting.
I didn't
Okay.
get the popcorn, but the rolled ice cream is delicious.
Popcorn is very good. Very, very good.
The funny thing is, to save up money to start his business, he got a second job at Whirlpool,
Really?
and I trained him for a week,
Wow. Wow.
and then he just quit.
Well,
After he got the money.
After he got the money. Hey, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry to narrowcast.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
But
Heck
it's
yeah.
very good.
Hey, we used to do a whole segment on Cody's food suggestions from around town.
We did that once.
Well, that's more than a lot of our bits.
hey,
So, yeah. All right, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into some news. Hey, we're back. That was The Joker by the Steve Miller Band. We had a great joke about it last week when we recorded and then lost the episode.
I don't think we need to explain
I don't
it.
think we need to explain it. No, that one's just for us.
Yeah.
you know what? It was a great joke. Just laugh on our behalf.
It really, it would just trust me.
Just
it was
trust
a
us.
very good joke
It was
about Han
very,
Solo.
it was very, very good. Yeah, Han Solo and the Joker.
It was
That's-
it was a Star Wars joke I'd not heard done before, which is saying something.
and you all missed out.
Yeah.
Every one of
I don't know.
you.
Maybe we'll release that half someday.
Someday.
I could have been famous. That's a good joke.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into some news.
Come on, Cranky. Take it to the fridge.
I was expecting the mask, and instead I got Donkey Kong.
Well,
rap.
you know what? It came down to Donkey Kong 64 or Dr. Light saying, "That's a good question."
I like the Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Mega Man.
Mega Man.
I remember when I first got Donkey Kong 64, I got it for Christmas, and I put it on the TV during the Christmas party, and everybody was there, and that rap starts, and I was just immediately incredibly embarrassed.
I mean, DK. Donkey Kong is here.
I was just like, oh no.
Oh no.
He's a hell of a guy.
Yep.
I remember hearing that. I was like, they swore in a video game.
In a Nintendo game.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of Nintendo games, let's get into this Nintendo Partner Direct.
The Direct that doesn't make people as excited.
Not as excited, although people got pretty excited
This
for
was
this
a good
one.
one.
This was a pretty good one. So this is another one where it's a lot of third-party characters in games. So there's no Zeldas, there's no
Mario Man.
Mario Mans, there's no Metroids.
No, there's never Metroids.
Mr. Metroid's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the games that they got into?
They led with a new Monster Hunter for the Switch, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a good game. People like it. I like it.
Monster Hunter, primarily a PlayStation. Am I right?
Yeah. It was big on the PSP. It was a big,
Yeah.
like, in Japan, that's where it was huge. It basically floated the PSP along its entire life.
Wasn't the original
Yeah.
Monster Hunter on like PS2?
Yes, it was.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So Monster Hunter is a game where you are
A monster hunter.
you are create a character, Monster Hunter Man, and you go out and you get quests to take down giant dinosaurs and
you collect
kaijus or whatever.
You collect their parts and you make more armor and better weapons.
Yeah, I mean that's the gameplay loop. You fight monster to get part, make better weapon, fight bigger monster, get better part. Yeah.
I mean, basically, it's Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. Hold my beer.
Yeah, kinda. It kinda is. Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it.
But yeah, and you're like some sort of like otherworldly tribal community.
Yeah, so you're like, it's like prehistoric. Well, not really prehistoric, but semi-prehistoric.
It's somewhere
Monster Times, yeah.
somewhere between like cavemen and Native American kind of,
but also high fantasy.
Yeah, it's very
It's
much
a good
its own
mix.
thing.
Yeah, it's its own thing. It's actually a pretty neat setting. But this is excellent that it's coming to the Switch. The
console everybody has, and it's portable. And it'll be perfect, and there'll be plenty of people to play it with, I hope.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of history with Monster Hunter, but I did play that Final Fantasy game for the 3DS. That
was a knockoff. I forget what it was called. That was a pretty good game.
That was a pretty good one. Yeah, where you fought the summons from the various Final Fantasy games instead of
being real hot on it and really wanting the gunslinger class. And by the time I got that, then I'm like, I got it. Now
there's nothing.
Yeah, I really don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, that game did not have a very satisfying end to it. But I remember the gameplay loop was pretty rocking.
It wasn't like Dissidia or whatever,
no,
was it?
it was... I forget what it was called.
I mean, there is a Dissidia.
I know.
That's the fighting game.
Oh, yeah.
I think it wasn't Hunters.
Something like that. Anyway, let's move on. They so they not only announced this Monster Hunter, which I think is Monster Hunter, is it Tales? Is that what it was called?
Oh, this one is Monster Hunter Rise. And
Rise,
the other one is
Rise.
Monster Hunter
Stories 2, which is a sequel to a 3DS game that was only in Japan.
No, it came out here.
It came out here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
The Amiibo did.
The Amiibo was Japan only. That's what it is. Okay. So it's another... So they have two.
Yeah.
One is a little more story-driven. The other one is more standard.
Well, the one is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Stories is Pokemon, but Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And it actually is pretty solid. The 3DS game was actually a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So I would assume this will be too.
Yeah. Looks good. I mean, it looks a little more anime-ish. But
I mean, they all kind of look a little anime-ish because they're a JRPG.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, what were some of the other games on this one? I don't...
Oh, no.
I mean, I know they ended it with the new Ori game. Ori, the
Blind Forest?
The Will of the Wisps
Yeah.
is the sequel. And it looked pretty good.
Okay.
I didn't play the first one.
I've tried both of them. I just can't get into them. I
Really?
don't know what it is. The character isn't appealing to me.
It's a little simple. Yeah. I mean, the backgrounds and settings are kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of looks like a stock standard kind of Metroidvania kind of thing. Oh, it reminds me a lot of Hollow Knight.
Yeah. And I liked Hollow Knight, but
Yeah.
I like the bugs. I like
You like the
bug
bugs,
theme.
yeah. Yeah.
I like the bugs.
There's a Disgaea, right?
Oh, yes. Disgaea 6 was announced.
What?
Where you play as a zombie.
Yeah, little zombie boy. I haven't played any of those games,
I
but
haven't
I've heard
either.
nothing
I played
but
the
good
first.
things.
I played the first one.
Yeah,
I think I still have it.
It sounds like this main character has an interesting mechanic where he gets stronger the more he dies. So maybe it's like a thing where it's a built-in, what do I want to call it, like level cap sort of thing, where if you're having a really tough time on a boss, your character will just get naturally a little bit better and a little bit better every time you die until you get to the point where you can beat it, so you're never fighting too hard to get to the correct level.
Yeah, it's a cool sounding mechanic.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Plus, it's a zombie that shoots lightning, and that's always kind of cool. I like
kind of like a Frankenstein.
kind of like a Frankenstein
monster.
Or what was the character name from Night Stalkers or Darkstalkers?
Victor.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, Victor von Gerheim or something like that.
Victor von not Frankenstein.
Yes, that's
Victor
exactly.
von legally distinct from Universal's Frankenstein.
Yeah. Well, that was like most of that game.
Yeah, not Universal Monsters.
Yep.
Fitness boxing too.
Oh boy.
If you want to get your punch on with your Joy-Cons.
You know I do.
The joy of punching.
With Joy punching.
Should have been a Punch Out.
Yeah. Why didn't they do like a Wii Fit Punch Out?
That would be great.
I guess it's not a Nintendo game. It's a publisher, but
Didn't the Wii have like a punch out
Yeah, it was
like
great.
like remaster? Or
yeah.
something?
Oh no,
It was
it was a
amazing.
brand new game, and
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
It was a fantastic game. Yeah, I loved We Punch Out.
Yeah. Those guys at Next Level Games, they always do a good job with their Nintendo property.
Yeah, it is the single reason why Lil Mac is in Smash Brothers. I think is
Yeah.
because they did such a good job with
Made people care about Punch
We
Out
Punch
again.
Out. Yeah,
That might be
yeah,
one
yeah.
of my favorite, if not my most favorite Wii game.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, it's up there. Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That gangster game, Empire of Sin by John Romero's wife and John Romero. I guess it's more her game than his, but he's also working on it, which it's like a tactical
Gangster game.
gangster simulation. I think it looks kind of neat.
Yeah. I wonder if the Daikatana is hidden somewhere within the game's
Oh,
coding.
we can only hope.
Yeah. Japanese for big sword.
Sniper Elite 4. I've never played any of those.
Yeah.
No,
I
thank
don't
you.
like sniping. I don't think that's fun.
Yeah.
The Long Dark. I don't remember what that is.
Cool. Neither do I.
Yeah. Hades, the game by
Hades. Yeah.
the Bastion and Transistor people. That came out today. It was like, here it is, and it's out now.
Hey, that's
So-
awesome. I've heard nothing but good things about that game.
I mean,
It's just
they've
kind of
yet to
shame
make
that
a
it's
bad
taken
game.
this long to get onto
Yeah, to
the Switch.
escape the Epic Game Store.
Well, yeah.
Battle in Wonderland, which looks cool. It's a 3D platformer by Yuji Naka, the former Sega guy.
It looks like Nights into Dreams.
Yeah, it has you can tell it
A
shares
very heavy Nights into Dreams.
Yeah, it shares
Kinda.
DNA with Knights situation. The gameplay's not like Knights because nothing is.
Enough. Yeah. But the look definitely is.
Yeah.
Especially that hat guy, the Balin.
Yeah.
I think is the main character or the main antagonist, maybe.
It looks up my alley.
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy it.
It looks pretty cool.
I like platform games with different like abilities.
Yes.
I always
Yeah.
like that in Mario when he gets a different costume, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what this whole game is. So
Or like Odyssey when he used his hat to turn into
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
and let's see, we've also got Rune Factory 5, which looked rad.
Yeah,
I
looks
love
cool.
me some
Oh, yeah.
Rune Factory. It's a good mix of farming and like action RPG combat.
Yeah.
Like if you like Harvest Moon, but wish you could also like
Punch monsters.
yeah, or you like Stardew Valley, but wish you could fight in more places than a hole in the ground.
Right. Yeah.
Rune Factory is great, and it's always pretty. I've always thought the art design in Rune Factory is gorgeous. So this one looks cool.
It looks fine. Yeah, it looks good.
No date on it. 2021.
A lot of it was 2021. Yeah. And I think we're going to be getting that for a while,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
The Empire of Sin actually got a date on it.
Oh, it did?
After the presentation
Oh,
on
really?
Twitter, John
Oh.
Romero said December 1st.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Do you think that he might sneak in a... Oh, that's John Romero. I'm thinking George Romero. Never mind.
Some zombies?
Yeah.
Different Romero.
Yeah.
Although both of them are involved in zombies in one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was about it, except when we already talked about Ori, so
Yeah.
that was the
So
big
that's
end
pretty
thing.
much it. I would say this was a pretty solid one. I am still waiting for their first party big
The actual direct.
the big direct.
Non-Mario.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy. I really don't, because Nintendo does a great job getting third party developers,
Yeah. And
outside
they-
developers, and getting ports of things in.
And they used to be very bad.
They used to be very bad at it. Now they're very good at it. But give me just a taste more information about the Breath of the Wild 2. We didn't talk about.
Yeah, there was a Zelda related.
There was a Zelda.
announcement.
Yeah.
It was a week ago. They
Yeah,
announced a new Hyrule Warriors game based in the Breath of the Wild universe.
Yeah, so the Hyrule Warriors is it's like a hybrid, more like the Dynasty Warriors games, where instead of Breath of the Wild's an open world game, this one is more like you get levels and you have waves and waves of enemies to attack, and you also get multiple characters to play as. So you're not just playing as Link in this; you're going to be playing as what it looks like. It's going to be
all
the four Guardians,
champions.
the four champions, and Zelda, and I'm sure they're going to add some other people into it, which looks pretty cool.
I don't know.
The Warriors games are not my cup of tea typically, but I will give this a shot.
I mean, I've played a lot of the various Warriors games. Mm-hmm. Of course, I still remember when Dynasty Warriors was just a standard side-scrolling fighting game before they went to the whole Mushu style of big battlefields and whatnot.
Muso.
Yeah. Muso.
Mushu is the dragon.
Mushu is a
from
tiny
Mulan.
dragon that sounds like Eddie Murphy.
But yeah, I mean,
Disrespect me, disrespect Macau.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it has some like actual more story than like say like the first Hyrule Warriors did.
Which
where
was, hey, here are some bad guys to fight. This
Yeah.
one is actually, it's because it's set,
it's doing the 100-year thing before.
the 100-year war
battle or whatever.
100 years prior to Breath of the Wild, which we got glimpses of
In cutscenes.
but never got a full story of that. And I
Yeah.
think that's actually really cool.
Yeah. Aren't they calling this like Hyrule Warriors like Age of Calamity or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, something like that.
The only thing that bothers me about it is that we know how it ends and you
Well-
can't win.
Well, that is true. That is
I
very
wouldn't
true.
say I wouldn't say it's not losing. It's more like
Delayed winning.
yes.
Dying because that's what they did.
Yeah, everybody dies but Link.
Yeah. The game's going to end with a Link climbing into that wet coffin.
Yeah. Taking his clothes off and getting in the wet coffin.
Yeah, what if there's an in-game, like, in-story reason why he ends up, like, just wearing his boxer briefs?
Well, he was hurt really bad, and I think he didn't take himself there. Somebody
true.
Oh, man, he slashed Ganon and it blew his clothes clean off.
Yeah. That's the only way the Bacta gel works in the...
He laid down in his pool of biofreeze and waited it out for 100 years.
This segment of your Zelda game is brought to you by Aggretsuko Strip.
Blue emu. Icy hot.
Just a pile of icy hot. Okay, so before we get into some more game news, we're actually going to talk about a couple of non-game things. So Marvel did a couple of casting
It's Marvel,
bits.
baby.
It's Marvel, baby. It's Marvel time. When's Marvel? Well, now it is. It is now. So let's start with the one that just broke the other day. Marvel cast Tatiana Mansley from the show
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, as She-Hulk for a Disney Plus series called She-Hulk. That's pretty great.
Yeah, I have no issue. I mean, there was a rumor for a long time it was going to be Allison Brie, and I like that better.
Another
I feel
choice.
I feel like you're a little biased.
She's a good actress.
I know
She's a
she
good
is.
actress.
I know she is, but she's like one of your favorites.
I don't know. I probably.
But no, so the thing with She-Hulk is that she was Bruce's cousin. Who received a blood transfusion. It turned her from kind of a meek daytime lawyer into a very boisterous daytime lawyer. So, and the thing is, she doesn't like Hulk out like the Hulk and get like mindless. She just becomes more assertive.
Yes.
And she is definitely a lawyer, and that's going to be, it's like Ally McBeal, but also
super
a
strength.
Hulk.
Yeah.
And from what the little news brief, there wasn't a whole lot of news on this, but from what it read, it sounds like this show is going to be kind of a partial comedy, partial action that is equal parts lawyering Ally McBeal and punching bad guys.
That's exactly how it should be.
And that's
Yeah.
how it should be.
So
Because in the comics, for the longest time, she was written as more of a, I don't want to say jokey character, but
She was in the vein
A
of
little-
Squirrel Girl.
a little more lighthearted, I guess, would
Yeah.
be. Well, no,
She's somewhere.
she's not
bet-
currently. She's definitely not being written that way currently.
Yeah,
she's
that's true.
definitely
She's serious
much
now.
more Hulk-like now. But
Originally, she was like fourth wall
she
breaking.
was, yeah,
Like somewhere between
Howard the Duck level,
Yeah.
almost.
somewhere between Deadpool and Squirrel Girl.
A little bit, yeah. So I'm here for it. I think it's great. It's an interesting casting. I think the actress has the range because Orphan Black, she had to play multiple people
at the same time.
at the same time. So yeah, into it. That sounds great. The other casting is for the next Ant-Man movie. Jonathan Majors from the Lovecraft Country show,
Which is a
that
fantastic show.
I've heard it is blowing up.
I keep meaning to talk about it on the Check It Outs, and I forget. We've been watching it like as it comes out. Like it is appointment viewing. We need to see it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I've heard some really, really good stuff about
Yeah,
it.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, but he's been cast as officially just a major role in the next Ant-Man movie. It has been heavily rumored that he is the villain of the film, possibly Kang the Conqueror, which is interesting because Kang the Conqueror, among other things, is a time traveler, and
the alien from The Simpsons.
As buddy with Kodos.
Yeah, so is he going to play Kodos too?
Yeah, he could also be Kodos. No, he is a time-traveling warlord who has assumed various identities throughout the ages, including Rama Tut, the Egyptian king, and like the Red Centurion, stuff like that. Anyway,
he's got kind of a Vandal Savage.
Kind of a Vandal Savage-y kind of thing. He uses future technology to travel through time. Which is interesting because Ant-Man helped discover time travel in Endgame. This could possibly be Kang the Conqueror coming back in time going, hey, what you guys did screwed up my future conquests, so I'm going to mess with you and mess with your time.
What you guys did? That was bad what you did.
That is bad what you did. You go to prison.
You go to time prison.
Time prison, yes.
But also the fact he's also a descendant of Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Of the Fantastic Four.
Right. So they're going to start introducing that angle because I believe Kang was tied up with the Fantastic Four rights.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
But now Disney owns everything.
And they own everything, which
they don't own Spider-Man.
That's true.
And they never will.
That's the only thing they don't own.
Sony will sell off all of their other properties before they get rid of Spider-Man. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll rent him. They'll rent the Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can rent the Spider-Man, but you can't have the Spider-Man.
Marvel Studios has a nice timeshare with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They have shared custody.
They have shared custody. Yes, that's it.
You get Peter on weekends.
Yeah.
But only PlayStation gets the Spider-Man.
Yep.
I started playing that Avengers game the other day.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I've heard it's fine.
Yeah.
They don't the Avengers don't look right, but otherwise it's okay.
It's got a lot of Kamala. Like, I've played it for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and it's almost been exclusively Kamala Khan.
That's cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. She's a good character. I'm waiting to see what they end up doing with her character, because I remember there were rumors a while back of them introducing her into
the MCU.
But that was back before the whole Disney thing, because they were talking about a Hulu show.
She was so hot at the time.
She was.
That Ms. Marvel was the big comic at the time.
It almost feels like they've kind of missed the boat a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they'll work her in somewhere. But hey, let's wrap stuff up with some of that good PlayStation news.
Well, we can just hit both the... They announced the price and release date for both the new PlayStation and the new Xbox.
Okay, let's do it.
There's 2 models for each. There's a disc driveless one and a disc drive having one. Mm-hmm. I think the ones that have the disc drive also have slightly better stats. That way about it. The big ones cost $500 on both sides. The Xbox is $500. The PlayStation's $500. Mm-hmm. The smaller PlayStation is $400. The smaller Xbox, $300.
Oh, interesting. Of the two, which one do you think is going to fare better?
It's really hard to say right now because I don't think either one of them is a very good proposition at this point.
$500 is an awful lot of money for a game system.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of money. I am a little concerned as concerned as one can be for a faceless corporation, but I am a little concerned about the Xbox side of things because their 2 versions, the X and the S, sound so similar that is one absolutely going to confuse people, both on the consumer side and the store, like the employee side, because phones are not the cleanest audio, not crisp like our award-winning podcast. But like, can you imagine a grandma on a phone saying, "Yes, I would like the Xbox"?
No, what you get is, I don't know which one.
Yeah,
that's what you
Xbox.
get. Yeah. I want the Xbox.
Give me the Xbox.
One? I don't know.
Although I feel like the people who don't know which one they want the $300 one.
Probably. But then they'll come in and say, well, why can't I put my disc in here?
Yeah.
I don't know why they sound like Patrick from SpongeBob, but they do.
Because they are
do.
Patrick from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I think that's a great entry price point for people.
300's a good price.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember how much the PlayStation 3 was?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
What was it, like $600?
Yes.
Yeah, it launched. That's a mistake Sony will never make again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player on the market
That's
at
true.
the time.
That's true.
Because
And
Blu-ray players were like $1,000.
Their attitude about it too shot themselves in the foot. They're like, it's $600 and you're gonna pay it, sucker.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
This is a prestige
Like
piece of equipment.
God, I remember one quote, and it was something that was like almost straight up like, well, then buy an Xbox. If you don't like
Kinda,
it, go buy an
yeah.
Xbox.
Well, yeah, that was when they were doing all that. When they announced the Xbox One, it was like you had to be online all the time, and you couldn't own any of your games because they were in the cloud.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
everybody just lost their minds about it. And their answer to that was like, well, we already have a product like that. It's called the Xbox 360. And it's like,
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but now like. That's what we expect out. They were right at the time.
They were.
People just weren't ready for it.
It was too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now what do we got? Game Pass, where I have access to all these games and I don't own any of them.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
I mean, I have as many digital only as I do physical
Yeah.
copy.
We've all moved into that
Yeah.
ecosystem, and
Yeah.
they got us. It
Yeah.
happened. They were just too much too soon, and everybody
That's
got
it.
scared.
Yep, that's it.
Man, remember where there used to be like a wall of PC games in stores?
PC games.
Now there's a rack with hidden object games on CD-ROMs.
Yeah.
And Sims.
Yeah.
And Warcraft.
And Sims
Yeah.
games. Yep.
And Warcraft.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we are running out of time, but so pick one Sony game that we could talk about for a couple of minutes.
Oh man, there's
Spider-Man.
Miles Morales is a good one.
Yeah,
Miles
but
Morales
it's
is a
also
good one.
coming out on the PlayStation 4, so why bother paying more?
Right.
Same with Horizon, the new Horizon Zero Dawn, also coming out on the PlayStation
Very
4.
true.
So why bother upgrading now?
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, that's the big one.
That's
yes.
the big one.
Final Fantasy 16, they had a trailer. It looks so cool. It's going back to its roots in a kind of a sword and sorcery, if you could call it that,
Yeah.
kind of way.
But they're also fighting giant kaiju sorta.
Yeah, and
In a
there's-
Monster Hunter style kind of way, a little bit.
and there's
a little bit.
There's crystals and familiar monsters, and I'm excited.
There's a small boy that turned into a flaming man that turned into Ifrit,
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool.
yeah. I'm glad to see Final Fantasy going somewhere I recognize.
Yes.
Usually, like for the past 15 years, they'll announce a new one, and I'll go, it's kind of like I want to see what they're going with this, but it's also weird.
I feel like ever since 7,
Yeah,
it's been this.
7 was Cyberpunk. 8 was
Well, you can't even really call it. Can you really call it cyberpunk? It was more like diesel punk.
Diesel
Yeah,
Punk, I
Diesel-
guess.
yeah.
Yeah. But then 8 was in
Future Space Garden.
Yeah, 9. I don't even know what 9 was.
9 was a throwback.
9 was a throwback.
10 was Islands.
Yeah, 10 was islands and nonsense.
And
Blitzball.
And Blitzball.
Blitzball. 11 was the online one. That was
11
kind
was
of
the
a throwback.
online one. Yeah. 12.
12 was kind of a throwback, but it was also it opened up their whole
It was Desert Sky Pirate.
Sky Pirates. Yeah.
and bunny people.
Yep.
13 was not just utter nonsense, like sci-fi nonsense. Like
Yeah.
8. That's
Yeah.
what 8 is. Like anime sci-fi nonsense.
Oh yeah, because that one had lightning in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14's the MMO.
Yeah.
Another online one.
Which is
It's a little bit of everything.
It ties in a little bit with this new one, I guess.
Oh, really?
And it's the same guy that brought.
Was it Yoshi P?
Yeah, Yoshi P, the
Yeah.
guy that saved that online game from certain death.
Yeah.
He's in charge of this Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. And then 15, they drove around in a car.
Yeah, and
It's just bros in a car.
it was like 8. It
Yeah.
was that weird anime garbage.
Yeah.
Future tech.
Future
But no,
tech.
getting back to sword and sorcery, people in armor fighting dragons and stuff.
And elemental crystals.
Elemental
like,
crystals
I
and
want
stuff.
this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm immediately sold on this Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, I hope you're immediately sold on a very expensive game system to play this Final Fantasy because it is PS5 exclusive.
I mean, they announced the new God of
It's
War
also
too.
PC, I think.
Oh, it's also PC? Well,
I think it is also
there you
PC,
go.
which I do have a PC that could run it. I'm assuming.
Well, there you go. Yep.
But I'll probably end up owning both consoles at some point. That's what always happens. But I don't know which one I'll get first.
I'm probably never going to buy an Xbox. I have a PC. Everything Xbox has that is going to come out that I might want to play is going to be available on PC.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way. I mean, I haven't owned with the exception of, Nintendo
products.
Nintendo products, but Nintendo products are also a little bit cheaper. The games are, a little more niche, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I like the portability. I don't need to spend a ton of money on a game system that's, frankly, going to sit 90% of the time and not be used. I would feel really weird spending a ton of money on something that's not going to get played.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I would not buy the Xbox, but then I got the Xbox One for real cheap, and I use it more than any of the other consoles.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed, but the combination of Game Pass and it just being easier to open Netflix on.
Oh, that's fair. That is fair.
I mean, I do see your name on the list on my Microsoft app thing on my computer.
The Netflix experience is just better on the Xbox for some reason. I don't. The PlayStation 4 has a dumb UI that's clunky and loads slowly.
Yeah.
Oh man, do you remember when the original Xbox had like
The blades?
what?
The blades on the side of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
That we move in and out.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I was gonna talk about like they had like a remote straight up for like watching DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yep,
stuff.
I remember that. Yep.
Well, they had a Netflix exclusivity deal for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why there's a disc for the Wii version. And you couldn't download Netflix
You had to
from the
pop
shop.
the disc
you
in,
had to
yeah.
put a disc in because of the exclusivity with Xbox.
Yep. All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and wrap things up for the day. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline. Leave us a message, and we might play it on the show. The number's 586-372-8020. What's your favorite Final Fantasy, Bud?
Dragon Quest.
6.
Yeah, Dragon Quest V is my favorite. No, 5 is Final Fantasy V is my favorite.
Oh, really? 5? Okay.
It used to be 6, but I've played through a bunch of them recently, and I really enjoyed 5.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. All right, you can also find the show on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. And finally, I'd like to thank David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Pizza out. I don't have anything clever this time.